Now, from the studios of Into Tomorrow in Miami, this is ITTV.
Our next guest's company introduced an AR-enhanced video chat app with a wireless wand that supports family connection, play, and learning. And it certainly got our producer's attention. Glad to have this next guest join us again. He's been with us a couple of times over the years with different companies. Well, now he's the CEO and co-founder of a company called Canoe. And that's Jim Marggraff. Jim, welcome Into Tomorrow. Thanks for coming on. How are you?
Just great, Dave. Great to be here with you today. Thanks.
We're glad to have you back as well. First of all, tell me a little about the company Canoe. Does the name mean something? What did that come about? And then let's get into what it is that you do that really helps keep families closer together. I love that.
Absolutely. Yes. Kinoo, K-I-N-O-O, comes from the kin, which is kinship and family. And the two O's at the end of it, you'll see in our logo, are quite playful. They look like an infinity sign. We connect older loved ones and younger loved ones. And we do this. The intersection is some fascinating technology that makes it feel as though you're actually together in the same place.
And I love a logo that means something. So kudos for that, by all means. So how is it that that Canoe works? It sounds fascinating, but is it complicated? Is it something that all ages can be involved in easily? How does that work?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, let's start with a simple problem, because I love to focus on what the PTS, the problem to solve. And the problem to solve for us was looking at particularly when COVID struck and we were separated in what are called isolated, confined, and extreme conditions. Very difficult. And families wanted to be together and they couldn't. And particularly grandparents who wanted to be with grandchildren and struggled to do this even before. 50% of grandparents live more than 2 hours from grandkids. And we said, what could we do to connect them, to let them really feel that they're together, use technology? Well, when COVID hit, suddenly video chat exploded, and now Zoom became a way of life.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about that is if you have a Zoom call with a younger loved one, so a grandparent calls up and they're on the screen together, and they say to a 4-year-old, "Hey, Johnny, how are you?" Johnny says, "Good." Grammy says, "What are you up to?" And Johnny says, "Nothing." And he runs off, and Mom chases after Johnny with his cell phone, trying to track him down.
Yeah, Grandma's trying to talk to you. Why are you running away?
That's right. And what happens then? Johnny's not interested. Mom feels guilty. Grandma feels inadequate.
Yeah.
She wants to be there, and she wants to be close to him. So he said, how do we solve this problem? And that's where, so kin, family, connected. And so what we did is we created a video chat system, but that it's enhanced with a couple things. One is there's a character that pops up in the video chat with you and that suggests things to do and guides you and offers games and activities to play. That's the first thing that happens. The next thing is there's this optional. It's optional because you can just do this with a character and many more things we have. You can take a wireless wand, and I'll show you that momentarily.
Well, and as you're getting it, I'll remind our radio audience to be sure and visit intotomorrow.com and see this video with Jim. Now, you're holding up a wand that doesn't look a whole lot like a wand. It looks more like a remote control with colorful cartoon kind of things on it.
Yes, it's about 3 inches tall. It fits in the child of a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, or an adult. It's got a little notch on the back, very comfortable. It's kind of like a wand, but it has 3 orbs on it. And right now, you're seeing them glow a red, green, and blue. But there's a speaker in it. It's wireless. It connects to your internet and also to your tablet. So we work on mobile devices. And when this wand is used in one of your activities, it becomes something else. Or it lets you control something on the screen with physical gestures, which children love to do.
So it becomes a great way to keep that 3 or 4-year-old's attention, and there's Grandma on the other end that's now not feeling so inadequate and actually engaging in them. Would they both have a wand, both the child and the grandparent in this case?
So, not necessary. Note the wand is optional, but it is part of a bundle we offer. And next year we'll offer activities where the adult the Grammy or Grampy or an aunt or uncle or friend of the family, or even mom or dad traveling, because it was away from their child, can also connect. But they can use their finger on their tablet or their iPhone or iPad. And the child can use their finger as well, or the wand. But the magic is really in the activities. So we spoke before, but I invented years ago the Leapfrog Leap Pad.
Yes, very cool. And I'm glad we had you on the show back then, because that was a very neat product as well.
Thank you. We helped over 100 million kids in a very short time.
Wow.
And what we've done, I've taken many people from that original team and others, and we understand kids play. But more than that, you need to think about what we call co-play, which is when you have an adult and a child virtually connected, it's one thing to just pop up a game and let them play it. Okay, there are other apps that do that. The trick is to say, gee, how do you make them feel engaged, important, relevant, and give them purpose? And that's when the magic really comes to life. Because at that point, for instance, it's one thing to just play a simple game, tic-tac-toe. And at the end of it, the video and a video chat is gratuitous. It's there, but you don't really bond or connect. So our entire company is focused on connecting people in a way that makes them feel as though they're really connected. They get to know one another. We promote discussion and dialogue. We do this in a way that makes sure that the child is having fun. They laugh, they giggle. And when that happens, the grandparent or the older loved one, they giggle and laugh too. We also give opportunities for the adult to know what to do, what to say, how to promote discussion. And we make it very simple to do this.
Wow. I mean, it already sounds like Canoe is very different from other kids' communication platforms, because there's a bunch out there, let's be honest. But the things that you've been describing are certainly more unique ways, I think, to engage, especially the child, because as you indicated early on, I think that's the most difficult thing. The grandparent wants to see them and wants to engage in some sort of activity or at least some conversation. But oftentimes the child's bored with it now already in a couple of seconds. Hi, Grandma, and they run off. And now you've got their attention, and they're able to do something that they see being able to accomplish something fun and unique and giggling. Yeah.
That's right. For instance, imagine being able to bake cookies together.
Whoa.
And be guided through the process of baking a cookie where the grandparent pours the sugar, and the child pours the sugar with their hand. They literally are moving their hand in a pouring shape. The sugar on the screen is pouring. The grandparents takes a cup, they catch it, and they pour it in the mixing bowl. And then the child cracks an egg, 3 eggs, and they get the recipe right, and they slice butter, and then they whisk it all together, and together they put it in the oven, and then they munch on the cookies when they're done.
Wow.
And that happens with our application.
Now the only thing you have to work on, Jim, is getting the smell of the fresh baked cookies. so the child really is.
Go to mom and say, Mom, your child Johnny is making cookies with Grampy. Be sure when they're done, you bring them out of the oven.
Oh, can you imagine? So, that would be awesome.
And then, fun?
Yes, talk about bonding, because now the child and the grandparent are doing something unique, but mom's involved too, or dad, and baking the cookies. You can smell them, and now you can enjoy them. Look what you and Grandma made, and might not be able to pull that off on an 8, 9, or 10-year-old, but the 3 or 4-year-old's going to be blown away.
That's exactly right. There's always this element of suspending disbelief. For a child, though, their world is a different world. And another thing that's fascinating we learned is how to guide the adult so they feel great about the experience. So they're not just watching the child play, which is fun for a while, but watching filters be put on the child, which, it gets tiring after a while.
Yeah.
So you've got to do more than that. But to give them the ability to know why what they're doing is helping the child and they feel great about it. For instance, letting them know that a 3-year-old doesn't know how to take turns. They don't know what turn taking means, but they're on video chat. And if the grandparent is trying to say, oh, it's your turn, and the child doesn't know, that's a problem. So we coach them. We have little prompts that pop up just on the adult screen that give them little suggestions on things to say and do as they want. They're available. Sometimes they pull, sometimes they appear. But this is all in the context of games that are really super to engage the child and make sure they're playing and they're having fun. Like one of our games is a rocket ride to the moon. It's a moon rocket. Good. And they both get in the rocket and they have to figure out how to take off, turn some dials, eventually count down. But before they do that, they take their moon passports. So they get pictures of each one and they smile. So we get Grammy or Grampy, sometimes Grumpy, to smile. Because, sometimes grandparents are a little stiff. And we pick up this moment where Cody and Canoe, our characters, say, you got to smile like this. And they smile. And the child and the adult just light up. They beam and they smile. We take a picture of it. And that's their passport. And then we ask them to be surprised and other things. But you know what I'd love to do, Dave? I can show you a 90-second little video of what happens here when you're ready.
Sure. If you want to share your screen and those listening on the radio, again, visit intotomorrow.com and look for the interview with Jim Marggraff talking about Kinoo, and you'll see what everyone else is about to see on the video.
Okay, here we go. So I've set that for optimize. And what you're seeing right initially is the Canoe controller, and you'll see a grandparent, grandchild, and family interact. Here we go.
Okay.
Family just got a whole lot closer.
Hey, Grampy.
Hey, Zoe.
Wow, it's our garden, Grampy.
Canoe lets you play together even when you're generations apart.
Look, we're making them grow.
Through interactive games,
We sure are, Munchkin.
you can turn ordinary video chat
I got an idea. This is my favorite pitch.
into extraordinary video play.
Ah, that's a home run!
Oh,
Zoe is a handful.
Zoe, come say hi to Grampy.
yeah. Hi, Grampy.
Hey, there she is.
With Canoe, everyone feels like they're right there, together.
Got
Oh,
away.
that's okay. Drop it down again. You're doing great. Yeah, you got it.
Grampy, I just caught a fish.
Boom, there you go.
Turn pages together, learn together,
C-A-T.
Grampy, your turn.
Put this horsey tail right here.
and even bake together.
Go ahead, stir it up.
From living room
Blast off.
all the way,
To the moon! Woo!
no matter how small or big the moment,
There she is. Oh, you need some help, Pumpkin? Use your hammer. Remember how Grampy showed you?
Canoe lets you be present when it matters most.
Oh, there you go. Fantastic. You got that piece off too. Now I see. Hit one more. It's a rooster. Awesome.
Share family moments of love and wonder.
Bye. See you tomorrow, kiddo. I love you.
Don't just stay in touch, stay together with Canoe.
Well,
There we go. What do you
very,
think, Dave?
very cool, very interactive. I like how the grandfather and the grandchild were doing that various things together, and even growing the garden. I thought that was very cool too. So the wand turned into, I guess, the water bucket, and she was sprinkling, pretending to sprinkle water, and suddenly a garden grew. I mean, that was pretty
That's right.
unique.
And
I
did you
think.
see when they were fishing together?
Yes.
The child actually takes their KC, the KC wireless wand, they pull it back, they cast it forward, and the line on the screen then drops into the water and sinks down. And then the grandfather or grandmother, loved one on the other side, looks, and they both can see, the child can barely see the fish in the water, but the adult then controls the fish, and they talk together. And the grandparent then puts the fish on the hook, and the child will see them just enough and say, "Oh, wait, there's one. Is that a lobster, or is that a crab or something?" And the grandparent will move it over, hook it on. The line will tug. At that point, the child will take their KC and they'll reel it out of the water, and it'll pop up. And then we have all types of fun things. One of them giggles, they laugh, they tell jokes, they do dances. And then after they drop it again and again. And at this point, there might be a piece of trash floating by, because we are extremely conscious about the environment and about working together, collaboration. And then the child might say, "Oh, there's a boot," or "There's a tire." And the grandparent will hook that on. The child will reel that out, and then it will drop it in Cody's boat. And when he collects 5 of these, he'll run off and deliver them and say, "We're going to take care of these and recycle them." But we all have to work together to keep our world clean.
Wow, very cool. And I like all the various interactions. I think it's really unique. It's very cool. And this is an app, correct? I heard you mention iPhone and iPad, so hopefully it doesn't have to have a piece of fruit on it to work. This will work with Android as well, yes?
This year when we're launching first in the iOS store. So it's iPhone and iPad. And so, yes, it's an app. And I can tell you the pricing on it.
Please.
It's available. Sure. The app itself is $10 a month subscription. And the KC, our KC Wand, is $79. So for a year, it normally would be $120 plus $79. However, for a starter special, we're launching this fall for early starters. It's half that price. It's $99 for a full year of subscription with video chat unlimited usage, as well as the $79 KC, all for $99. So we're very excited to make this available for our first-time users, and we're motivating people because, as you know, the chip shortage has made toys in short supply, including our supply as well. So it's a first-come, first-served basis, and we've just made our store live literally a couple days ago. So this is good time for any of your listeners or viewers to take a look at Kinoo, Kinoo.com. Check it out and see that bundle price of $99 for a special first-time buyers.
Okay, well, terrific. Any more than that, we're going to have to start charging you for advertising, for crying out loud. But I get but I get the idea, and of course, we thank you for spending a few minutes with us, inviting our audience to visit your site as well, Kinoo, Canoe.com, and we'll get you there too when you visit intotomorrow.com. Jim Marggraff, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck with it. It sounds very cool, and I remember the good old days when a lot of us could travel for business. Hopefully we're getting back to that soon. So not just children and grandparents, but children and parents, as you mentioned too, or maybe an estranged parent, or any number of things. It's a great way to interact. So we do recommend folks check it out, and we'll look forward to getting you back on again soon.
Thanks, Steve. My pleasure.
Take care. All right, Jim, thanks. Again, intotomorrow.com. We'll get you to Canoe.com as well. If you've not been able to see the video quite yet and you're listening on the radio, do come check it out. It's really very cool. And if you've got grandkids or kids or just know anyone who does, boy, what a perfect holiday gift as well. You might want to think about that. I'm Dave Graveline. Stay tuned as Into Tomorrow continues. Lots more coming up right here on the Advanced Media Network.